Hello everyone and thank you for watching SK48 and Core. This is episode 24 and since we took a break last week, we have a ton of lives to recap. I'm Chris and joining me today are Nick.
What's up?
Jeff.
Yo.
And Willie.
Yes.
Starting off the news, SKE was announced on the 21st that SKE will appear on the 24-hour TV. I will talk about this later from the performance, but the members come up were Aya, Izudin, Lanlan, Oshirin, Izudin, Ayamero, I had Izudin already, Kotchan, Leona, and Donchan. And it was part of the Chugyo Televi Summer Festival. Also, on the same day, Team S went on a barbecue. I know it's not quite news, but I think it's worth mentioning. They do it almost every year since a while, and it looks like super fun. They went to the beach.
And I really love every time a team goes like a barbecue or something.
I thought you were gonna say wears bikinis, awesome. But
yeah. Some members you can count on Lanlan, of course.
Yeah, I know some members. I know that I ordered the bikini, but it didn't arrive in time. And but yeah, you can do the Ultimate Otaku Challenge if you can recognize all the members from behind. I did. So
it feels like Team S does these kind of things more often than other teams, no?
Yeah, I can't remember seeing E or
it's been
it's been a while. K2 did a picnic last year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think last year everyone did it. I remember Timmy for sure. But it's been some time since everyone did it.
Didn't Team S do a Hanami or something like that together?
Yeah, last year they did Hanami and a barbecue, and I think also some other stuff. But yeah, it's nice to mention the barbecue place and so on was organized by Aya and Kano, and Lanlan was just organizing the food and so on. And of course they had the manager
buying the food.
Yeah, buying the food because she was late. And yeah, it looks like lots of fun. There are lots of pictures and videos on Twitter and so on, so you can go check this. I guess the manager was the luckiest guy there. But
wait, there was a manager guy there?
Yeah.
No way.
You can see one in the video from London. He's the one taking, for example, the picture you see now. Or at least I assume it's the manager. So.
But they talked about it during the MCs of the stage the next day.
Yeah.
And I was speaking of pictures, it reminds me of this. So Mio said that Suzuran asked her to take a picture of her. So she did. Yeah. Then Suzuran looked at the picture and said, putain, you don't know how to take pictures. I look really bad on this. And then Mio said, it's not my fault, it's the model who is bad. But,
Well, they figured out the reason because Mio is too tall. Then when she took the picture, then from above, it's like super above, and this, of course, looks weird.
Yeah, she wanted. Yeah, she asked her because she was tall, and usually, you look better from a bit above, but it was too much.
Yeah. So yeah, everyone on Twitter was like, I want to see the next stage because, and I watched the MCs after these events are always very funny. Off to a bit more negative news.
Oh yeah, I'm
Jeff,
going to
go ahead.
so hard. Prepare yourselves. So we've seen I don't know if you can even call that a music video, but for the latest AKB single, Sentimental Train. And it's a train wreck. Train, it's perfect. It's terrible. I think I never seen anything like that. So it was a single for after the Sosenkyo. So you've got everyone who ranked, and of course the management said 2 weeks ago, I think. Junina couldn't be there for the MV. So pretty much they said they are going to refilm it whenever they can. But what we didn't imagine that pretty much the music video, I guess they took what they wanted to do, and every time Joanna was supposed to be there, they replaced her. So either with 3D model that looks like so bad. Like, what the fuck?
Every child at school can do a better one.
Like if you can take like I don't know how many amateurs who can do a better job than that. That's horrible. So it was either drawings. So the drawings actually they were that bad. Like in pretty much maybe a good idea, but
yeah, they reminded me a bit of the Take on Me from Aha. So like older music videos. So they weren't bad, but the 3D, oh yeah. No.
And the only footage. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wonder if actually the 3D model, which is really bad, was maybe on purpose because they want to show that it's not the final version. They I don't know. Like, is it possible that they are so incompetent as to like decide to have something like this and that it looks good, or is it because on the contrary they wanted to make sure that people understand that it's not the final version? I don't know.
Because
they didn't make us understand that.
Yeah, because that looks like something. Quickly something did it like in 15 minutes just to show. Okay, they're supposed to be like Joanna here. So just like you can imagine, but you don't like release that shit like on YouTube on your official channel.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that they went. I think they really tried to the way Will said, because you can see like this Gina dance center position and so on the markings in the video. But
that is so funny.
Bad. Yeah, it's so bad.
Yeah, because like I thought maybe like on TV and stuff they were not going to show that, but like at the end of AK Bingo we saw the video and it was in it. So like on TV and stuff, like you can see that shit. That's so unprofessional. That's terrible.
Mm.
And the only actual footage of Gina is from like an MV, I think, like 6 or 7 years ago. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like Gina's done like I don't know how many music video, and you can even like find a clip of Gina. Like, really?
No, she doesn't have a lot of screen time usually, so it was difficult.
Yeah, I mean it's so difficult to find some footage of Gina. Like, she doesn't appear like. Never appear. So it's frankly that the first time I've seen it like on Discord, I think I thought it was something like a fan made. Like Gina is not in this MV, so I'm just going to put a bad 3D model. But yeah, I had to check. And that's actual like the official AKB channel. That's the real thing. That's not a joke.
Yeah,
and
just take a bit of money, hire ILM, and then you get a good CGI version.
Yes, I can believe they can just release like something like that and put it on TV and on YouTube. Like, what is that? So
if their intention, go ahead. Sorry.
It's terribly made. Like, just technically, it's terrible, and like right now there's like a lot of Junia hate, and like if I'm a Junia hater, like I'm having such a good fun with that, because that's so terrible. Like, I mean, in 5 years we are still going to see that stuff. That's so bad.
If their intention was to make us believe that like obviously she's gonna come back with this thing, and it's like it's an imperfect music video.
Yeah.
Like, look at how bad it is, etc. I think it's pretty insulting to Jurina to kind of have that there. I don't think it didn't come off like if their intention was to be like, Jurina's there, we have to like show her as part of the music video. I don't know. It didn't seem. I mean, I guess the thought was there and whatever, but it just like the product is so bad that it makes you wonder, like,
Yeah.
I'm wondering quickly if it would have been better or worse if I just choose some random member and give her a Jurina paper mask.
I don't know. Like, don't even put Jurina in there. Like, it's better. That's just that.
Yeah.
And it's totally believable. And you can like, it's so offensive. Like, to me, like, that if I'm Jurina and I see that stuff and see what the fuck.
Yeah. What do you think?
What the fuck?
The other thing is.
Yeah.
It could have been worse. They could have released a version with Suda Center.
So that's my second point, but go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, Well, no, I was actually going to say probably what you're going to say, Jeff. That it probably would have been better to kind of not have, because I think fans understood for a while, even before the MV was shot. They said, "Oh, we're going to have a second version. We're going to have a second version of the single with the version." Right? They announced it, right? So I think the fans understood that Jurina won't be part of the shooting. So I don't think it would have been bad to not have Jurina in the music video. I think if you have Sudas there, they wouldn't really have a position to kind of hate on it. If Suda was there, Jurina fans, because they would be like, well, it's SK. Well, I know. I don't know if that's their logic or how people would react to it. Everyone reacts a different way. But I think it would have been... I just think it's better if we get two different music videos, you know, or whatever. I don't know the logistics in doing that, but I think it would have kind of been a little bit better. But yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, because like they didn't have a video with Jurina, so she wasn't there at all for the. So you can just like put the video like without her, or not show her at all. Like just like mention the idea of her and not show her at all. But like the 3D model, that's
just put the picture like in the
and the old footage from like 7 years ago. Yeah, that's what is that?
Yeah.
And yeah, so second point. So I just rented for Jurina. Second point, there's a lot of Sakura. Like she's pretty much the main character in this MV. And first off, like Jurina, like, one of the reasons like Jurina probably is not there is after like the whole mess with Sakura, and there's a lot of hate from the Sakura fans and the Jurina fans. So why the fuck like are you putting like Sakura in the main character of his MV, and pretty much like I know like what like a relationship between like Sakura and Jurina in this MV just after like this fucking mess. I mean, like, so first of all, like what the fuck, and second of all, like she was third like in Sosenkyo, so why the fuck is she the main character? And third, yeah, you could just have like that's, I mean, she's SKE, she's probably like the closest to Jurina in. So yeah, I don't understand. It's like a second, so like, I mean, it's the second slap in the face, probably like to Jurina. Just we did a terrible job, and second, we give the main role to Sakura. Like second that, that's so bad.
Yeah, actually, I mean, it's not the first time they put Suda behind her position.
Yeah, but like in the normal, like in like I will say, I mean, of course, they put Sakura even though she's lower rank. Like okay, like it's AKS, no surprise there. But in those circumstances, that's like really like the second slap in the face, like to any like Jurina fans. I think there's already like a lot of war between the two fandoms, so you're pretty much like, I mean, I don't know, like I don't know if they didn't think about it or they're just stupid, or I don't know if it was on purpose. I don't know.
I can't wait to see the first MV of Eyes One with Sakura having more screen time than Wonyoung.
But yeah, this MV is terrible. So yeah, rent over. Next.
Okay, then let's leave this behind and move to better news.
So at the SKE handshake in Nagoya last week, on Saturday, so USA came out in the middle, and so we were all hoping to hear about the 10th anniversary concert.
Yeah.
And and instead, so we get a request hour. So 2 weeks from now, so 3 weeks from when he announced it.
Yeah.
So the first one since 2015, since the 2 years in between, they did the solo the solo concert and the unit concert. So with this short time frame, they so obviously they cannot put voting tickets in CDs. So instead, we can vote with the SK mobile account, SK Mail, SK Mail app, live on demand, etc.
Yeah, but it has ended already, so whoever's listening it, you are too late.
Yeah, anyway, unless you had a Japanese phone number, probably you cannot vote as usual.
Yeah, the vote ended today, I think.
Yeah, and you could vote with DMM without a phone number.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so yeah, just with the proxy, okay. And then so yeah, I guess instead of buying tons of CDs now, like all the guys just had a few days to find as many phones as they could, subscribe to one member on SK Mail or to SK Mobile, because that's the cheapest.
And it's so stupid because like if you're comparing like the prices of everything, like how is the DMM just one vote? Like that DMM should be like 10 votes.
I think you had
the price,
votes
right?
actually. I'm not sure, but I could click twice.
Okay.
So maybe you got two, but maybe it was just an error.
Yeah, maybe it's about 10 times the price, or actually 5 times with the August promotion.
Yeah.
But yes,
but it was the same thing. It was the same thing for Sasenkyo. So yeah, that's kind of stupid. But if you're going to put votes for DMM, like just give many votes. That's weird. But yeah, that's like weird announcement, really, because like first of all, you see USA announcing something, so everyone was thinking, okay, maybe that's the anniversary concert, maybe that's news about Jolena. And like, no, it's Request Hour, like out of nowhere. Like I haven't seen like anyone like talk about SK Request Hour for like.
Yeah, I think the Request Hour is a better place to announce the Dome concert than a Handshake event.
Yeah, but like that's like 1 month only. Yeah. So if you want to do like a big concert, 1 month is really like. Yeah, not that long.
We don't know if they do it in October. Maybe the Dome is not free at that time. We have to see.
They already have a concert in October in Laguna.
Yeah, so maybe they do it in November. So it's still timely enough for an anniversary concert.
So it's open. And yeah, the second thing is like just announced it. Like they just have 3 weeks to organize. And it's we didn't say that, but it's top 100.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest SK did, because I think it was a top 50. No?
The last one. Yeah, I think last time they did 50 songs, a top 50 for stages and 50 songs for singing and coupling.
I think they did 100 for the beginning ones. I think I might be wrong though, but I think so. I don't know.
I don't think so.
The first ones were smaller.
Yeah, 2015 was just one concert per like coupling and so on, so it can't be too much.
So yeah, so top 100. So it's like four concerts. Like you have to prepare that in 3 weeks.
I'm sure SK can do that.
Yeah, but like even like the staff, like just getting the costumes and everything, like record the songs, because you kind of have to record the songs at least for the the solo lines, for example.
Yeah.
And you got the members
clearly
have to... Go ahead.
That's clearly the reason why the voting period was so short.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they need the time to know the songs. Yeah, what songs is going to be in.
It's a bit like weird.
Top 100, so like pretty much every songs are going to be in it. So
it's weird because. Sorry, I was gonna say it's just weird because I assume you announce Request Hour as a kind of boost to help sell your Handshake slots, and stuff like
that's the other point. Yeah, just what a weird
like
thing.
What did that kind of like why wouldn't you just do that with the next single, something like that? And I don't really get
actually that. I'm not sure if like what's their profit on handshakes with the staff, etc. I'm not sure if it's really more than like the 350 yen or so that they get from a subscription.
Right.
Maybe it's not that far actually. I'm not sure.
But like everything seems rushed about this announcement. it's so weird. Like why couldn't they announced it like 1 month or 2 months ago?
Yeah.
I don't understand. So yeah, that's pretty weird.
I'm happy we get a concert and a request hour. It's always nice. I like request hours.
Yeah, for sure.
Songs.
Yeah, for sure. It's really awesome.
We're gonna have Julina's song from the album as number 1 probably. So I guess like she will not appear in the previous songs and make her return just for the final song, or I don't know.
But I mean that could be one of the reasons because they announced
the second Julina's
the request hour
concert. Yeah, like the Winter Concert 15.
I can't like knowing like Julina and stuff. I can't imagine like just. Yeah, she's just going to reappear like I don't know, like in a handshake or something with nothing. I think it's going to be they're going to like use that for a big surprise.
Yeah,
and like really like
2 years ago.
So I was waiting like so they announced the songs available, and I mean if you're going to have a request hour and you're going to have like all the Joanna songs, of course the fans are going to vote for that. And like just not have her performing would be weird. So I don't know. Like they could have said, okay, she's not going to be there, so request her, so we don't have her songs. So I don't know.
Officially, the request hour is just about songs. So in theory, every member could perform that song.
Yeah, they didn't
like,
have.
If it's Julina, like the Julina solo, like from her album for example, like I can see like. Anyone like singing
unrealistic, but in theory, everybody could. Like, you have no right to want a certain member to sing a certain song.
I'm not sure about that actually for this time because I saw Makiko tweet something about that. I didn't really understand, but it sounded like more or less since members are asking, are telling their fans which song they want, they will try to respect that, and they have a list of like 61 songs or so that should be given to to a specific member. Like for example, if a unit has been done by 2 different pairs or 2 different triplets of members, and one of the two centers is requesting this one, while the other one is requesting another song. They will they have the list of what each member asked to their fans, and they will try to follow it.
I'm not saying it's like something like they would do, but in theory they could. Just when a member is not available, they could put it in without fans like should be super pissed about because we voted for the song for the member.
But I mean, I'm pretty sure that for some request hours before, or maybe AKB ones, like some girls had troubles, like sister groups girls, because that particular girl had her first unit as center, like whatever unit from AKB stage, and the member who did it originally was still there, but that member was our fans were voting for something else. And so the fans of the sister group girl were screwed because they knew that if they voted this song, someone else would do it, and they had nothing else to vote. So I think that's why this time they have their list. And also,
I knew a few years back. Also, we had like some single songs were performed by the King Kyusei or other members. So it's like sometimes they exchange.
Yeah, for AKB that can be confusing, of course, because every single sister group have done like pretty much the AKB units. So yeah, like if you have like SKC voting for AKB units, and like management just like take AKB members to do that, and that can be confusing. But yeah, I mean we've got like USA and Lan. They all talked about Julina recently, so I think like request hour seems like the perfect moment for Julina to come back. And
I agree.
Yeah. About the list of songs, for some reason, now single is there. Usually, I thought it was only SKE songs, or at least songs released by under SKE. Like if it's I don't know, Matsumura Kori's solo song is still there because it's been released by them. But so yeah, now when I talked to her last week, she told me to vote for something else because she thought it would not be in, and it was in. So I don't know if there are other songs in the other than this one. I don't really see what other members may have released songs outside of the group. But so yeah, it's not limited 100% to SKE songs.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we have talked enough about request. I don't know for long.
Yeah.
And then go to next. We had, as mentioned before, SKE performed at the 24 Hours TV. There was, as far as I know, no broadcast, even though it's of course called 24 Hours TV. But the members performed just short. It was very short. They just performed Mushiki, Mango, Tales Nagara, Okidoki, Katafai, Punchline, and Nakamanuta. So it was like.
So they did on Saturday night, I suppose, since it's like Saturday 12 p.m. to Sunday 12 p.m. and they had handshakes both Saturday and Sunday.
They went right after the handshake on Saturday. They went to Nagoya, performed, and then went back to Tokyo for the handshakes. And a friend of mine went there after I told him that they're doing it. It was pretty crowded, I think. And it's nice that they changed the members around quite a lot. Like Oshin was center for Mushiki, and for Mango, Donchan was center for Tales Nagara. Ai was for Okidoki, and Leona was for Punchline. I don't know who's for finally.
Oh, they did quite a lot of songs actually. So like half an hour. Or...
Yeah, it's like
or even more.
Songs. And looks like fun. I don't know about the weather. They look just sweaty, not like lots of rain. We have this later. But nice short moment. I don't know how they chose these members. Like, it looks pretty random.
That's weird. Yeah.
Still wasn't this
they had to choose members who were finishing early enough.
Okay,
so that's one thing. I think it's same for the Grumpus event the next day.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Okay, there we have the solution. And simply over there. Nick, tell us about Grumpus.
Yeah, actually, this is a bit of a bad news, guys, because one member really, really wanted to be part of this event, but she didn't get picked. Would you like to guess who?
Aye.
No. Well, maybe she did, but I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about Rinka, of course.
Oh, Rinka's also a Grumpus fan.
I don't know. Apparently, she was really really sad. Yeah. Have you heard of her?
I doesn't ring a bell.
Nick's new Oshi.
No.
I saw her in the theater.
That's Kuma.
I know she exists.
What did you say, Will? You saw her in the theater?
Yeah, so I know she exists now.
Okay. Anyway, so there was Grampus is Nagoya Grampus. They're a soccer team. In Nagoya, they play in the top league, I think, in Japan. Anyway, they had a game in Toyota. I could have went, but so actually I thought about going to the game. I saw tickets at like 200 yen. I'm like, wow, I'm gonna go. But that was like the tickets for kids, and like the adult. I wasn't gonna.
Well, your size would be fitting. It's no problem.
Fuck you. Anyway, so
want to talk about your handshake with Maya yesterday?
We can do that later. We can do. Hold on. We have to talk about Grampus. So the members. So some members went to the game, and they had two purposes there. First of all, they're there to get people, to get fans to go to the game. But they did so I think three of them greeted people at the gates. I think the greeters were, I know it was Yumana, I think Ruka, and I think Ochan. But I might be wrong. But three of them are greeting fans as they came in, apparently. And then the other three, whoever they were selling goods at them, like they were selling merchandise. And then there's pictures of some of them, Yumana and some of the others, in like a wrestling ring with some other people. I don't know who they are, but they have masks on. and I don't know what that was about. So they did quite a lot of things everywhere, basically, around like the stadium pre-match. And then anyway, so Grampus won 4-1, I believe, and it was their 6th straight victory, and they won yesterday, so it's their 7th straight victory. Anyway, this was a continuation of a previous stuff with Grampus, which Umena was also part of, but these other members, I think it was their first time. I might be wrong, but
SK as a whole is doing a collaboration with Grampus, so they just pick whatever members.
Yeah, it's taken some time though, right?
Yep.
For them to do a collaboration. I don't know if they did a collaboration before. I don't think so.
They started like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that was that. Okay, you want to show me some more, or can we move on?
No, we're fine. During the summer festival for Zero Position, which we will talk later about, it was announced that the documentary for SKE will be released on 19th of October, and it's called Idol. Very short and simple, and I think it will focus mostly on this year, especially without the time without Jirina, at least from what I got.
Because I remember, like, I think they said like two months ago, maybe something. They talked about doing a documentary, but we didn't have a date.
Yeah, exactly. They announced it before, but yeah, for the live they announced the Dame and the title. I think before I just said releasing in fall.
Last week during the handshake in Nagoya, they were filming some handshakes in different lanes. I saw there was someone with a camera going from lane to lane and taking images. So I don't know if it was for this or not.
I don't know, but they do it quite often. Like for 3 of the handshakes where I went.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know why. because we don't see.
Yeah.
We don't see like
this.
either.
Yeah.
Like just in case.
I had a handshake with Maya, and the guy was just filming. I was like, "What the? Like, am I going to be put online or what?"
Yeah. No, for you it's just a database who to look out for. Who's going to do trouble again? Go on a rampage. The user stuff.
But yeah, because I think when they announced the documentary, they said it was going to be pretty much Sesenkyo, the 10th year anniversary.
Yeah.
And since then, we've got Jirina absence, and I think they said it was going to be in it too. So yeah,
of course.
Pretty much SKE without Jirina. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then we.
So it's going to be in theater, I think. They said?
Yeah,
they announced
Roadshow. Yeah, it says Roadshow, so I guess it's in theaters.
Who is on the left? Do you guys know who's on the left on the cover?
On the cover.
From the right we have Kaho, we have Ochan, and then who's that on the left?
Let me see. I need to see the cover.
I think that's Kuma in the back, who's like blurred. And then to the.
Yeah, it might be. I think the cover is from Mihama, so it's Team E. For sure.
It's Team E, yeah, but I don't know who's next to Ochan.
Well, I didn't watch I watched the team.
Okay.
Not so clear precisely. So.
Right. Okay. No. I just want to know if anyone knew. This isn't important.
Yeah. You want to know if it's your new Oshi? Yeah, we get it.
One of the new Oshis.
No. I said Kuma's in the back. So,
also Nakahika isn't in SK, so.
Thank God.
Yeah. Okay, and let's go to Grade 8 members. First, Kimoto Kanon reopened her Twitter. And so I didn't even know she stopped using, but...
I didn't even know it was her when I saw the picture.
Really? No, I actually recognize her.
Well, no. Okay, I knew it was her. Sorry, she posted a new picture recently, and I'm starting to question whether she's altered her face.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
But, no? Okay.
I have no idea. I mean, I guess the Twitter opening is related to her at the agency, which we talked about before. The Knockout.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So, yeah, she's back for all the fans of Kanon out there. And this week we have 2 Masana news. So, we'll go ahead.
So she's gonna be the narrator for Jirina's 100 Instagram picture challenge. I'm not even sure actually what. I know it was broadcasted last night somewhere.
Yeah.
On TV, but I'm not sure exactly what was the show about. Like, are they just showing the pictures without Jurina because anyway she cannot be there to record it? I have no idea. But apparently Masana was pretty happy to be chosen for that. Yeah, right. And the second thing, so she's in a play called Infinity Force or something like that. They had their Shonichi last week, or this week. But no, the funny thing about this is that Sakaime went to see the Shonichi, and then she went to greet Masana backstage, and then Masana posted somewhere that it's weird. There was this former member who came to see me, but I'm very bad with names. I cannot remember who she is. Well, she's just been in the group for 7 years, no problem.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the most Masana thing you can do. Yeah. Yeah. Hi. Okay. With that, we're done with the news, and we go to theater where we just go a bit quicker because we already spent a ton of time at the news. First, on the 19th, we had the K2 stages, noon and evening, and the evening was IML Seitansai. Since nobody of us watched this, nothing more to tell about. Unfortunately, the upload of the stage is also not really good recently, so we're back to DMN usage more or less. On the next day, we had a Team E stage for noon and evening, and the next day we had a Team S stage, which Will was in. So,
yeah,
give us your impression.
Well, there was good and bad, definitely.
Okay, hold on. I met Will after the theater, and he told me I had my top 3 worst stage moments in the history of me going to stages in this theater. All right, so Will, go ahead. Tell us about your top 3 worst moments.
No, but especially the top one is a mistake I will never do again. So as last time I went to SKE, I had the NPO ticket. So I knew I would be on 4th row, and last time I took the rightmost seat. It was pretty good because when the members come on the front right side of the stage, you have direct view on them with no one in between and all. So this time I thought I'm going to try the leftmost seat. And what I forgot is that during the units, so the girls came out for I Know Rule. So I had Camille just in front of me, like I don't know, like 1 meter from me, like looking directly at me.
Yeah, your head was showing in the camera, by the way.
Yeah, I was like looking at her and I cannot smile because the song is so bad, the costume is so bad, everything. I just cannot. So okay, let's try to see on the right if someone can help me. Then I see I and Marine. Okay, no, let's look on the left. Then I see Yokonian. Okay, I like Yokonian. Oh no, I cannot. She looks so fucking stupid in this costume. Like, she looks stupid all the time. Anybody looks stupid in this costume. Like, even Airi and Chuli in the original MV. But so when you put this costume on Yokonian, it's like, it's something else. I couldn't. So I came back to Ayuka. I was looking at her, trying my best to smile, but I couldn't. She was looking at me like what the fuck are you doing? I tried to enjoy it.
Who's that? That weirdo.
So I started to clap like that with zero conviction, and after it was bad. Oh my god.
You're banned for going to Team S ever again.
Oh. Yeah.
And that was only the top one.
Yeah. The good part was that Kano-chan gave me a ton of fan service, so that was really good. Like Ryoha was not there because she hurt her knee a week before or so. So basically, she was out of the theater for 2 weeks. She came back a few days ago. So Marine was center instead of her. So actually, I didn't read the list of members before. So when I saw Marine in front in the first song, I was like, oh fuck, wait, Ryoa is not there and she's going to be center instead. That's going to be bad. Actually, I kind of liked Marine during the songs and hated her during MCs. So it was fine. But since I didn't have Ryoa to watch with Mio. Instead of I was like always searching for Kano-chan. She noticed me and gave me a really lot of fan service. And when I went to see her in Uncheck a few days later, we talked about it and it was nice.
I just want to mention it's funny that you have so much dislike for Einrul, and it's like my favorite unit. Always funny.
Does that surprise you? Does that surprise you, Chris?
I know enough. By now it doesn't surprise me, but it's still funny to see how different tastes can be.
I think it's a bad song, but I just like watch it for the lols.
Yeah.
Which actually, that's a bad song. But
well, I'm used to have
sorry to disappoint you, Chris.
No, I'm used to be the outsider. I'm a
rebel.
I'm used to being wrong.
I can help you then.
The original had my former Roshi, and I already hated it. So it's not. So I'm being objective here. It's not fun. No, I mean, I'm not being. I'm not hating it because of the members. It's really the song. But so yeah, other than that, it was Chikako's 300th performance, and actually fans told her because as usual, like the members don't keep count. Ruchan and Akapin. And with Ai as senpai for the first time.
Yeah.
The MC after the unit was basically Ruchan being rude to Juna and Chikako, right?
Yeah.
So this one was really funny because she was like really like playing the innocent girl and she was like burning them again, but always like making it like. She didn't say it on purpose. She didn't realize what she was saying was bad. She's just naive, so it was really nice. The MC after that, they talked about the barbecue a lot, yeah. Apart from Mio's story, I don't remember anything specifically.
Me neither. Just all these like funny side stuff. I know that Ai was pretty rude sometimes and just pushing members in the water. That would.
Yeah.
Or pushing in the water and then running back to get some more meat.
Yeah, exactly, because they also talked that someone went to a matsuri with her and actually they used her like to part the crowd. Like she was going in like pushing and bumping to make some way, and the others were following behind.
It's perfect. Exactly what I want from Aoshi.
And then at the end, punchline with Kano-chan center and parting shot with Mio center.
Yeah. So I guess that was more towards your highlights.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get a lot of fan service from Mio, so I was not even sure that she saw me, but then I asked her at the next handshake, and she was okay. Yeah, you were sitting near the front, like completely on the right, so on the right from her point of view. So okay, she saw me. Good.
Lucky. Okay.
And then lucky because the next day I went in again. So 2 stages in a row. It was funny because there were 5 girls from Team S who were there. So Mio, Marine, Izurin, Ruchan, and someone else. When they saw me, so I was at completely at the back, standing. But so nobody saw me before the Miyokuri at the end. But when they saw me, like they had huge reaction, like how the fuck did he get in like twice in a row? And
that happened to me too. I went in twice in a row, and they were really shocked. They were like, "Oh my god!" And Maya told me, "She's like, how the fuck did you get in?" Anyway, it's really rare.
I did this a couple of times.
And during the intros, there was a lot of members. Jeff is depressed now.
I can't relate. I can't relate at all.
So during here is something you can relate during the intros. A few girls, including Ochan, Satokao, were talking about how they saw a lot of fans like changing their pen night colors because they are just dirty DDs and they don't like that.
That's good.
They noticed like one of them was like, yeah, I recognize the fan. He always comes to see me at handshakes. He's telling me I'm his social channel, and today I see him with pen nights for another girl. Yeah, they don't like it.
Yeah, that's the basic thing. Like if you're a DD, like don't say like to a member that she's your Oshi or shit like that. Like just be honest. Let's okay. Like if you have a Oshi, say who's your Oshi and going to be right.
Yeah, some people can't help themselves.
Don't say to everyone, yeah, you're my favorite, you're my favorite.
It's hard, Jeff. It's hard. It's hard, Jeff.
No, I tell AKB girls that
but you should.
What do you tell AKB girls?
No. I tell AKB girls that Okaberin is my Oshiman because anyway, I can always like back off and say no, I meant my AKB Oshi, you know. So and anyway, there's little chance that they will talk with SK members or that they will have lanes next to each other, and also I'm safe with that. But yeah, I would never don't do it for girls in the same group. That's a basic thing. Unless you officially have to
like you.
Not like me. No. But yeah, during the MCs, so yeah, Peter, the one after Ameno Butsuen was a mess. So Ami-chan, Rinka, Negai, and someone else, Ayuka, I think. Yeah, Ayuka. Were there, and they decided to play a variant of Daruma Gakoronda, which was instead Dobutsuga Nanishita. So Ayuka, as the penguin, was announcing like Dobutsuga Tabeta, for example. And so then the girl, when she turns, the girls have to pretend to be eating like an animal. So Ami-chan was really funny, like really trying to do everything like a monkey would. Negai was Negai, and Rinka was the camel, so she had no idea what a camel is supposed to do. So every time she was trying to do something, everybody was telling her, no, that's not what camels do. I'm sorry, what do camels do? I have no idea. And yeah, but in the end, they just gave up and said, well, sorry for these MCs, which was a complete fail.
What does an SK member do? I don't know. Sorry, that's bad.
Yeah, sure. So bad for you, Oshi.
Then they had the MC later. The first half was about your memories from the summer. I don't know if it was the last. No, it was not even the last session before the end of the summer, so I don't know why. So the S girls talked about the barbecue. Some girls talked about Mihama. Ochan and who? And who was it? And someone else. Ami-chan, I think, went to the same fireworks, but they didn't see each other. And that was about it. Then the second half was, who do you want for sister? So it was not super interesting. And then the MCs after the encore was the girls were trying to make haikus about summer. So this one was pretty fun. Some girls were pretty good at it. Some had no idea how to even count properly, or just like cheated their way out of it by repeating like why to do to count 4 times in the middle. And then at the end, Ikinari punchline with Mio Center. It was amazing because her hair were flying and showing her forehead, which is something she hates to do. I don't know why, because that's when she looks the best. And yeah, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, in the evening was Hiyatashina Seitansai. Again, nobody watched, so nothing much to tell about. Yeah, next day we had 2 Station Guard stages, then 1 E stage, and on the 28th another S stage, which was normal stage. Like of course, funny and interesting to watch. The one of the MCs was they listed their personal top 3 songs because of a request hour coming up. So of course, Pio Suber, that was like more in the like songs from Sayachan, for example, and Marlene had some of her songs from the time when she was a fan, and then of course the younger members had this Yume no Kairan no Nobode, because it's like their song, and yeah, the rest was pretty normal stage. On next day we had the Team E stage, and then one more Station Girls, and then on 31st we got Aina Aspiration stage, which again I had to work. I couldn't watch it. I guess the others also didn't. Just to summarize, for the Gration stuff part, Aina performed Okami to Pride with Denashu, because those two are just super close all the time. And then she performed Sakura no Hanabira Tachi with Honono and Narupi, since those 3 were the most together with her as Kenkyusei, I guess. And yeah, the letter was from Denashu. And I don't think they performed another song after that. And yeah, a couple of 7th gens went to watch the stage but didn't appear. And it was a pretty quiet Gradation stage from what I saw. Like nothing big, not a lot of members there. And yeah.
Yeah. So she stayed as Kenkyusei for the 3rd longest in SKE history after Barbecue and Asana, and is the only one who gave up in before getting promoted. Not that it was ever gonna happen, but
who knows? Maybe they become pitiful and just promote her to K2 or so.
On the Seishun Girl stage I went to, actually she had quite a few fans there, and they were super loud.
Yeah, she has a good fan base.
I was surprised actually. I guess they were especially loud because they knew it was probably their last time seeing her in the theater. But no, it was surprising. She probably had the loudest calls of any girls on that day.
Yeah, but she was good at Aikabu, for example. So she has a couple of very deep fans. Maybe especially those who like prefer to support underrated members, kind of like I. Sometimes
she's not underrated. Wadaina, she's rated.
Yes, she's like perfectly
like
rated.
she should.
Yeah, but I guess for those fans, it looks like she's underrated. I mean, just look. What I always think is like you have members, like every member in SKE who's working really hard and just get almost no reward, and then you have certain other members from other groups who just do shit and still stay.
Yeah, but I can.
Yeah, like
I
the one
can
I met.
see,
Yeah, exactly.
I can feel like Aina doing any effort. Like like I can like pretty much see her like years ago, and now she's probably like the same.
Yeah,
girl.
that's true. She was.
That's the thing. I mean, I can
she-
totally support like non-popular members who I can see like make a lot of efforts and like serve the purpose, but I can think of anything with Aina. Like
Yeah,
nothing.
As she mentioned before, she's was pretty busy with school and stuff, but yeah, I agree. She should have done probably more.
Yeah, she had like when she was the only Kenkyusei left with Honono and Narupi, she pretty much it was her time like to be the senpai. She was clearly older than Honono and Narupi, but pretty much you couldn't like feel like the Kenkyusei stage at that time. It was pretty much like just Honono and Narupi being senpai and just Aina being there.
Yeah, exactly.
And like pretty much every time she was saying, they don't treat me like a senpai or stuff, but like you're not behaving like a senpai either. So pretty much.
Maybe her character was just not one idol.
Even members, same age as her from her gen, didn't realize that she had the same age until 2 days ago when she did her grad. Talking about Maya there.
Yeah.
Okay. With that, we are done with the stages, and we go to the TV and media roundup, starting with Musubi.
Oh, it's going to be quick. Like the last 2 episodes have been pretty much what I hate about Japanese variety. So it is pretty much the girls going from shop to shop and talking to random people, and that's it. That's your episode. So
super awesome.
Exactly. Like we've got some episodes, but pretty much it's like for Musubi, for me it's pretty much easy. If you're going to do like physical stuff, it's going to be good. If you're just going to be like the usual Japanese variety and going to shops and stuff, it's boring. It's just boring.
Yeah.
Like
the first episode.
Even if I like the members, I can't even like it. It's just bad.
Yeah, because the first episode, the lineup looked pretty fine, and didn't deliver at all.
So the only good thing about those 2 Musubi, we've got a preview for next week, and they are going to the gym, and it's going to be good because it's going to be something physical. And it's going to be like fun.
Maybe they are gonna meet Nick there.
Do I have to talk about this?
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple weeks ago, I was talking with Will. I don't know what we were talking about, and I said to Will, I think Will was like, go to the gym. I don't know what you told me, but something like that. And then I told Will, the only way you're gonna find me in a gym is if Maya tells me to go to the gym. Okay. So then I'm like, all right, go ahead, tell her. So then Will went like 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago, I don't know, to the handshake in Tokyo. Yeah, last week, okay, to go to Tokyo, and apparently you told her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then yesterday she at the end of one hand, she didn't remember, but she was telling me she likes talking about my arms and my legs because we're both. Well, I guess like maybe I'm a little bit tall. I don't know. And she keeps saying my arms and legs are slightly longer than hers, and she's jealous. Whatever. It's so stupid. And then she's like, I guess she was thinking about that, and she's like, oh, wait, you have to go to the gym. She's just laughing. She's like, hey, wait, no, you have to go to the gym. I'm like, oh, no. And I started laughing, like, and she was like, she couldn't breathe. She was laughing so hard. Anyway. And then I go back, I go back in the lane, and I tell her, oh, do I really need to go to the gym? And she's like, yeah, flex for me. And so I do it. And she's like, yeah, okay, you got no muscle. You got to go to the gym. Like, so yeah, now I'm married to the steel and the iron.
Cool.
You know what you have to do.
Yeah.
Ocean.
Yeah, to Nakairika. Wait, no, she said you're small, you're short, right?
Just go to Kuma or Naki, and
you know what?
You're good.
It's funny you say Kuma because right after that I went to Yumina's lane and Kuma was right next to her, and I was just daydreaming looking at Kuma the whole time. Anyway,
you're the worst. You're just horrible. Okay.
Enough about me. I'm gonna go.
Yeah. Next we have Ninja Nayo.
Musubi was shit.
Yeah. Okay. Are we done with Musubi?
Oh yeah.
Okay, then we had Ninja Nayo 2 weeks from 13 to 17 and 22 to 24. And the first week had 3 episodes of the Yuki and Luca special again, where they went around. And they also went to the 3D cinema in Laguna, which, like, when I saw it, it looks so underwhelming. I don't know why, but they look more.
And pretty much like that week, you just had that. And then just 2 videos. And 2 were the same with Oshelin on both videos. So yeah, pretty much you just have like 3 members and something that's not even Janayo. So yeah, that was disappointing.
By the way, Laguna is so bad. Like you're not wrong, Chris. You're dead on because Laguna you pay to get in. And then you got to pay for the rides individually every time you go on them.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's one of those places, and the rides are so boring and like bad. It's just it's trash.
Okay,
but the SK Theater was kind of cool there.
Okay,
that's all I'm gonna say.
And the next week was better. We had Chikako's Yokoyan, which was really funny. At Archan versus Ami-chan, which was awesome, and then Marin versus Honono, where Archan and Ami-chan were using the camera. So This was really great too. Lots of funny episodes. The kids were just goofing around, making fun of Mitsukichi, as you can see in the current picture. And yeah, very funny episodes. I think there's another special plan. I saw it on Twitter that Juna is doing a barbecue, and she invited, I think, Ayuka and Kotchan, I think. So I guess we get another special episodes coming up soon. Yeah. Next we had Sanjanayo yesterday with Iselin, Maya, and Kaho. I don't know if Nick is still interested enough in Maya to listen to it. But...
Of course, I watched it.
Oh, really?
What would possibly make you think otherwise? Come on.
All your comments in the previous 2 days.
Yeah, and Kuma isn't there, so
yeah.
I haven't even I haven't held her hands once. Okay, I have not gone to a single handshake with Kuma.
Okay, then it's Naki. Anyway, go ahead.
But I will be next week.
Yeah.
All right, go on.
Yeah, great.
I skipped through the episode. I just saw them eating pizza, which is nice, of course. And Kaho and Iselin being super cute, and Maya being funny.
So yeah, the only bad thing about this episode is it's just like 8 minutes long. Yeah. So that's weird because like the Sanjanayo are usually pretty long. So yeah.
Okay.
Like.
And before we come to the longer broadcast, we go to AKB show.
Yeah, because it was not the episode 1 week ago, so on the 25th. It was not a SKE special, but 2/3 of it were SKE. So the first skit was Nao-chan and O-chan. So as they often do when a girl gets her first senbatsu. And so basically it was congratulations and all. So now you're in senbatsu. So what's your next dream? And well, my dream is to have a solo concert. Oh yeah, that's really nice. And where would you like to have it? Oh, Nagoya Dome.
Go big or go home.
Don't you think it's a bit too big? Maybe somewhere else. I guess Gaishi Hall should be fine. Still maybe a bit too much. Then in the Ferris wheel. And then they did the same with I would like also to play in a theater stage and in a theater play. And she said, I don't remember, like the Nagoya whatever is the biggest theater in Nagoya, and then went down to the Ferris wheel again. And every time Nao-chan was saying Ikinari. So I guess that was the reference to the title of the song. So then they went to perform the song. And after that, we had the Sokantoku Sodanshitsu. So basically, one member goes in a room, and then you have Yui Han there to answer her questions, give her advice, etc. It was 12 minutes of Suda.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So boy, I had to skip this. Like, it's not only Sosenkyo's speeches, even this type of segment. So she's twice longer than anybody else.
And it's funny. I didn't know they're actually like kind of doki. That's what they say, like 9th gen and 3rd gen of SKE was announced at the same time. So they're actually like, pretty much doki.
9th gen is September 2009. So I guess, anyway, since 2nd gen was first, SKE was first half, like April, and 3rd gen later in the year. So yeah, should be pretty close.
Okay, then we go to the longer stuff. First, we got the Miyama broadcast. As we mentioned,
it could be very very short. Like there's no bikini, so
we talked about it in detail quite a lot before. No bikinis. I mean, it was a nice broadcast. It was pretty short, like just 1 hour 25.
Yeah.
So and the concert was like 3 hours, so half of it was missing. The encore.
Yeah, and also in the broadcast there were some segments that were not the show itself, so it was maybe at best 1 hour of show, maybe less.
Many songs
they skipped all the MCs pretty much.
Yeah, and the shows were shortened, songs were shortened, and the encore was more or less left out completely, except for the credits at the end. So still, we got a nice shot of the members, I think, and the songs were nice, as we mentioned before. So
yeah, there were a few good things, like I don't know, like Truly singing the beginning of Kizashi Alone, for example, and it's been a while since we've heard Kizashi anyway.
Yeah, I was very happy that I was showing quite a lot. I guess Nick used to be happy that Maya was there quite often.
Kaho also used to be happy.
I don't know. Also, there's lots of shot of Kaho and Izudin for all those other fans out there. And yeah, I think all in all, nice broadcast. I think 2 days. Oh yeah, last Thursday, Chikako did the showroom where she watched the Mihama, and she had the sound barely loud enough so you could hear where she's at the replay. So what I did was like play my own file and just have her audio commentary on it, which is a really nice thing. Like have a member commentary on it while you are watching it.
But yeah, really too short. So I think they're going to broadcast the whole thing. I think like last year they did pretty much the same thing, like 1 month or something like that, and they did the whole thing because like I really like the MC, so just like cutting the MC is pretty bad for me, and they cut sort of the songs I wanted to watch, like not like 20 seconds or something like that. So yeah, pretty disappointed.
I think the full version of Okami to Pride. So they really need to get better cutters.
Oh yeah, I don't need that one.
Yeah.
Just remember now.
Yeah. Okay, then let's go to the
good stuff.
Yeah, the first part of the 6th generation live for Zero Pussy. So we saw like the first maybe 2/3 or half of the concert, and the next one will be in the next Zero Position episode. So
yeah, we saw half an hour of it basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say so. Next part is in the next episode, and I think they're going to broadcast the whole thing in October, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, first thing, like it was raining like very, very, very hard. Yeah. And pretty much, so it's the same place as the Summer Festival. So it was in front of the Blitz in Asakusa. Don't remember like so. Yeah,
Kuma
hate
Sakas. Kuma is better than you, yeah.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, and I'm 3 times her size too.
Yeah. Said she couldn't even open her eyes sometimes because it was raining so much.
Yeah, because there was rain and wind, so pretty much like really it was pretty dangerous. Like just like dancing on the wet scene like that, it's pretty dangerous. And like when they were doing like escape, like jumping from one leg to another, I was like, what the fuck? Like don't like we knew nobody got hurt, but it was pretty dangerous, really.
I mean, it was already funny to see that during the MCs they were cleaning the stage from water. Some of them were talking in some.
Yes, I keep on. Yeah, it's funny because when they were like pretty much cleaning, some people got wet, but actually like some fans said, "Oh, we are jealous too." So I keep on really went at it and splashed them.
Yeah, we saw Yuzuki fall. Actually, we didn't see, but we saw her like disappear from the screen.
Kinai punch, I think.
Yeah.
Punchline.
Yeah,
I think Naki also slipped a bit. At least at some point, and Yoha was just pushed down by other members into the rain.
Oh yeah, I think it was like Juna. I think was pretty much on our back, like trying to get her wet. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was really like the good thing about this live because they didn't care. Like pretty much they danced like exactly the same way they would have danced like in a sunny like frankly it should be like pretty scary to jump on the wave scene like that. And you could see pretty much they didn't hesitate, and it was one of the best live I've seen like for a while. It was very, very, very good.
It was actually really good, really good.
As they mentioned,
I'd like to.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
Okay, I'd like to bring attention to the team. What was it? 6th Gen Oshi, I guess we'll call it.
Yeah.
Which probably was the second best. Blah blah blah. Team Oshi song I've heard after the K2 one. It was pretty good. I liked the member lines.
It was.
Yeah, the three in the middle. So Kuma did a tongue twister.
Yeah.
I
like
Ryoha's. What was Ryoha?
Ice Katekore.
Ice Katekoi.
Yeah, sorry.
Give me some ice cream.
And
Yeah, it was really, really good. And apparently, as they said in the summer festival, because the 6th Gen concert was so good, they decided to hold the summer festival.
I think they like pretty much we didn't know about that, but like the summer festival was announced after that, and they said like after so it's like TBS organizing those two lives, and after the 6th Gen live they decided to do the summer festival. So I can just agree. It was like fantastic. I really need to see the second part. And to have the whole live because it's super good.
What we really like about SKE that they just passionate enough to just keep on dancing in the rain. I can imagine most artists would say, in this rain we can't perform so.
Well, I mean, okay, let's be honest. It's pretty dangerous. Like, let's.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like,
it's still, I'm happy.
It's pretty dangerous.
Members say, we clean the stage, we do it. It's like it's what maybe you can call the SKE spirit or so, even if it's reckless or so. But it's like what's symbolic for SKE in a way.
I think it's cool that like the 6th Gen, like they really showed their strength by doing this, and it's just really cool. Kind of, I don't want to, it was pretty symbolic. I don't know about it being symbolic for SK. I think it was pretty symbolic for their gen, more than anything else. And I really, I hearing this, what you said about them getting the job after, I think it's, I think they kind of deserve a big applause for that because, like they got them another concert just by themselves. So pretty good.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, then I guess we can move to the summer festival. For this one, we had 60 members, and they chose members who had like more or less lot to do with zero position. Like we have the MCs, Churi, Ryoha, we have Ai and Nao and Kano from the singing contest, we have Airi and Yunana from the couple competition, and so on.
Apart from Mikoti. I remember like Shoei, we said like, what did you ever do? Like I think like she said she wasn't even like on any episode, but she just got called. So
Mikoti, she was there on the singing competition, but
I'm not sure what Dasu and Kaotan and Minadun did, but Isolina and Kao was of course for the Gravure competition.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so they started with like the normal songs, Hokaku Race, Gomendo Sama, and Doki Doki, which are nice songs, especially Hokaku.
Classic. Yeah.
But then we got to the good part, like the units. And the first song was from Yunana and Airi. I didn't know this song.
The Nakomiku song.
Nakomiku song, so that's why it fits. It fits the image, basically. Yeah.
Then we had Enjo Rosen from Kotchan and Kaotan, which I honestly also skipped.
Did you skip that, Will?
Of course, I did. I like Kotchan, but no. And then after that was the most funny part of the show.
First we got Chikako and Ryoha come on stage and start to perform Zipper, and then Ryoha said, stop, this doesn't fit. I mean, it's nice that as Zipper we perform Zipper, but nah, you don't fit in this image. So she gets Kaho.
No one wants to see that.
No one wants to see you. Yeah.
Of course, the fans were a different opinion until they saw who was the replacement. We got Kaho, Izudin, and Ryoha performing Zipper, which was awesome, I would say.
Yep.
Like, it's one of the best Zipper. I think the first time I saw the full Zipper performance, and I think it's one of the best.
Well, I'm gonna say it's maybe the best since Miyuki left.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's funny because when they were doing it, I was thinking about what would they have done if it was raining, like for the sixth gen. They would have to change it. But yeah, it's funny because with Chikako it reminded, like, I think it was Sai's graduation stage, and she did like pretty much the same thing with Escape. So we just had her dancing to the intro of Escape.
Yeah,
and Sai like going in, like eating her head, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, so but that time it was because she didn't appear in the graduation concert. Yeah, but
and actually I think in the MC after that, Churi actually said like it's the staff, like they were like pretty much supposed to be Ryoha and Chikako, like from the relationship, like couple episode. Yeah, and they said but. Yeah, we'd like to go with Kaho and Izudin actually. So
good they did. Really good.
Yeah. If I would have be very happy with Chikako, but if I have to choose, with Kaho and Izudin, then
Also, I think Chikako got a nice replacement, in my opinion. So, but we come to this later. Next song we had Two Roses by Churi and Asu. And I know Nick and I have different opinions, but I really like the song.
Hate the song.
I had a thought about a French fan of Two Roses when I watched that, and I think we know what I'm talking about. But
So, especially like since they didn't do Two Roses at Rena's Sotsukon, some people are still bitter about this song. So.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite one is still Sai and Jurina, but I know I have very few people with the same opinion. So, I know it's a Jurina Rena song. I know it's more played, but also, by the way,
so speaking,
you can see the screen on the floor was broken at the time, by the way. So. Some panels were not functioning the right way.
I was gonna say that speaking of very few people with the same opinion,
it's always
the next song.
Yeah, exactly. Next song was like Churi's setlist best 100, best 5,
but not selected by Churi. That's the funny thing because he said, I'm not the one who chose those songs. They just called it that way, but. Yeah.
By the way, this is I think they had a TBS Zero Position concert last year, right?
Yeah.
Where they kind of had the same format, and Churi had some little segment there too.
Okay.
Well, she had more of a role last time. This time she didn't really.
Yeah, I think she chose
last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think she chose the whole playlist. Last time.
Yeah. She did. Yeah, she did last time.
Yeah. And I remember because she picked
the members.
Yeah, and she picked some old songs and outside of 48 at that time too.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so the first one was Planetarium by whoever she's called, and performed by II. Yeah, okay, Otsukai, and performed by II, which every II Oshi I know was completely in love with, including me. And
and that's the song she did that song for the Zero Position stuff, right? If I remember.
I'm not sure entirely, but still, I love it.
I'm pretty sure like another member did that song because I remember like a 48 SK member doing Planetarium.
Yeah. I think she looked awesome in the dress and performing it, and it sounded.
Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
So yeah, I think it was a total disaster.
No surprise there.
No, I mean, in the singing competition, she did pretty well, but this time she was out of tune, out of pitch. Her voice was shaking all the time.
That's the charm. That's the charm.
She was switching from chest voice to head voice randomly. Her voice was getting nasal for no apparent reason at random times as well. But it's really bad. Actually, I've been mad for a few days at the staff to let something like that happen and be broadcast on TV. Like the SMAP song and the one after later were really bad as well. But someone who randomly turns on the TV and sees that, be like, okay, yeah, bon, they're not singing well, they're not dancing well, but it's a fun performance. I didn't find it funny personally at all. I hated it, but I get that some people may like it. But someone who turns on the TV and sees that, it's like, okay, it's a solo song, so they pick the girl because she's supposed to be a good singer, and she sings like that. Then, no wonder that everybody thinks that the 48 group is just a bunch of untalented girls just there to sell their body to all dirty otakus. I don't know. I've heard bad performances, like maybe worse than this one, surely worse than this one, when they pick members based on popularity and not on singing ability. Like, I don't know, like Kita Arie or Ogino Yuka having a solo song is atrocious. But when they pick members based on who can sing or not, it's maybe the worst I've heard in 10 years of watching idol concerts.
Okay. Well, for me, I have no idea about like all the nuances of singing stuff. So when I listened to this version and the original version on YouTube, I didn't hear much of a difference. But yeah, I'm not used to like pay special attention to all this fine details.
If the original version is a 10 and me at the karaoke drunk is a 1, this one was maybe a 4, a 4 at best. And I think on the singing competition, she was more at like 7 or 8. And this time was really, really below her level. But it's not only her, it's same for Kano-chan was a bit below and now was quite below her level. So I think they didn't have a lot of time to prepare. The songs were difficult.
Yeah, and
it's also she was super nervous going first.
That's what I want to say.
You can tell the way her voice was shaking is because she was super nervous.
She said it quite a while, and it's completely different to sing in a studio in front of a few judges and a few members you know a lot, and in front of TV and lots of persons and live. Like there's no way to edit anything.
Yeah,
so.
Because like. As we know, this concert got pretty much made together after the 6th gen, so they pretty much didn't have any time actually they did to prepare. And like the thing is, like I was even like surprised to have Ai in the singing competition because she's not known like to be a singer. Like if you say Ai, pretty much every member is going to see dance. So I don't think she's pretty much one of the best singer, and technically it wasn't good, but doesn't matter. I think
members know that she's pretty good at singing usually, especially due to
and she did great too. But like when I see her song and pretty much in zero position competition and that one. Pretty much, like technically it's not very good, but I don't care. Like I love it. I pretty much, she's one of my favorites of like pretty much. Yeah, I'm biased, but yeah.
And for me, I'm
idol.
Kind of the as music skills go, I'm like the completely random listener because I have no idea. Like, and as long as the rhythm is nice, I like music usually. So. That's why I can't tell if something's performed good or bad, unless you're like totally off the tone. But so for me, this sounded pretty nice. The other ones too. But yeah, then let's move to the next one.
I don't get to give my opinion. No, go ahead. It's good.
Do you have an opinion?
It was the same as Will's. Okay, move on.
Yeah. Okay, so next was this? Something I skipped it. It was Kano, so. Someone else talk.
Don't even know the song, but she did well actually. I I think she's the one who was closest to the best she can do.
Yeah, I thought so too. Yeah.
Already, like on the singing competition, I thought she was the second best, even if somehow Nachi managed to steal the second place. Maybe it was just like to make her happy before her grad and all, but no, the song was good, but like nothing special.
Nothing special, but I liked it a lot. Yeah.
I didn't like the song, like pretty much. So I think she did a good job, but like didn't like the song at all.
I skipped it, so.
Oof. I actually liked it a lot. It kind of surprised me. I actually didn't remember her from the singing competition. Like I barely watched the singing competition. It was the first time I think I've heard her sing. And I was actually kind of surprised. And I thought it was pretty decent. Again, like nothing too surprising. We'll get to Naochan in a sec. Obviously, Naochan is a better singer than her, but I think what will address later. I thought she did kind of good for what we kind of expect from Kano, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I actually liked it. I thought it was good.
Okay.
Yeah, then let's go to Now and Uchiage Hanabi. Again, I can't say too much because I was in a hurry, and so I missed a couple of songs.
It's she did what she typically does. Actually, what she had been doing all the past years. So so it's good. Like you can really feel the emotion, etc. But she tries to go too much in the emotion and fails a bit on the technique side. And actually, during the singing competition, her technique was way better than anything she had done before. So I thought maybe she got lessons or something with a coach. And this time actually she went back to all her bad her usual bad habits. So that's why I think like they probably didn't have a lot of time to prepare. They didn't have time to rehearse with a coach or something like that, I believe. But still it was good for the song. The song really fits her well. But I'm a bit disappointed that it was. I thought it was not as good as what she did on the previous episodes.
Yeah, like in same thing, like they had a pianist there. So like, did they even have like time to practice with her and stuff like that? So I think I like that they put those songs in. But yeah, I mean, if you're just have something like that, like very difficult to do, and just have like, I don't know, not even a week to prepare, then yeah.
It was good also that this song was very different from all the other songs we had, like Aiko, Angela Aki, whatever. Basically, the 10 songs at the singing competition plus the first 2 songs here, they are mostly the same song. Planetarium is really better than the other songs, but they are still more or less all the same songs. And this one was really different, and this was good.
Yeah. Okay. Next we had DMC and then Bang Bang from Smurf.
Oh god.
Which again I didn't watch.
That was a train wreck. Oh my god. I don't know.
I don't know the original. It's a SMAP, so they're not that good either. So
yeah.
No, but they are not that good. Nakai is not that good. The others are not that bad. I mean, here we had 5 Nakais, more or less.
Like pretty much, like it was pretty much like the oldies singing and all these songs and just having fun with that. So I don't have a problem with that, but yeah. But,
I'm sure there's an audience for that, but it's not me.
Yeah, it's not like Ota's. I don't know. It was pretty much. I'm pretty sure like Kaotan. She was very happy because I think she's a SMAP fan, and I guess the others too. but yeah, I don't really see what
It's
we need for.
It's their generation to be a SMAP fan.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I think they did a SMAP song last time for the previous
I think so, yeah.
concert, and that one was better and funnier. I preferred that. I remember that one was. I remember finding that one a bit funny. This one I was just like, oh no, please. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, and the final song for the request hour was Suidenka from Shonen no Kaze and performed by Chikako and Mikoti, and in the end by everyone.
That was fun. That was
Yeah,
like
was fun.
Technically it was like terrible, but they were having so much fun.
Yeah. Chikako was really fun.
Chikako was like she was like pretty much rapping the whole time. It was like so funny, like so funny.
It's not a serious song. It's made to
because like
it's a party song.
Didn't AKB like perform that at the karaoke like concert like long time ago?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I remember like 48 Girls doing that songs like today, like 8 or 9 years ago when they did like the karaoke competition.
Maybe 8 years ago,
yeah. And
it's the same time Yuhan got promoted, so I remember.
Yeah. And it's a summer song. It's a party song. The MV the real MV is also just party on the beach. So for this one, you can't really care about technique, so it's just
and that's a fun song for the public too. So that's a total song, as we say.
Yeah. Okay. After that, we got back to SKE songs. So we had Natsuyo Isoge, Sansei Kawaii, and Kimi no Senaka. And then the list on Matome is also actually wrong, because right after that we had Ramne no Nomikata as closing song. And then we had the impressions by the members. And it was surprising, I think, that they ended with Ramne, which is like a weird song to end the stage. But it was like from Churi's wish to perform it, I think. And Makiko was crying because it was the first time she performed this song together with Churi. And as Kaotan pointed out, because Makiko had some stuff going on back then, which you can find out by Googling it. But all in all, also nice songs again. And of course, then they announced that the festival and the Sixth Generation concert will be shown again at the in October on the 8th, if I see it right. And that's
CBS being the bros.
Indeed. Anything else to add to this concert?
It's a nice change from the regular concerts.
Yeah.
So it's a shame that there's not a lot of people actually. It's the place is pretty small and stuck in between buildings on each side.
Yeah.
So you really have to be lucky to get in.
Yeah, I've been there because like at the exact place because I was going to a concert in the Blitz. So I have no idea why they did it there, but
I think there's currently the Summer Circus event or so, which is like general fair or festival.
Yeah, they have some like almost all year long. They have their winter face where they put an ice skating ring just where their stage is.
Yeah.
Then they have stuff at spring. They have the whole summer there is stuff. It's
because like where they performed, it's pretty much when there's a big concert in Blitz. That's where people are lining up. Like that's pretty much where we were lining up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like 6th gen, like awesome perf. And like the summer festival, nice playlist and like original playlist. And then I love seeing solos.
Yeah, and if you look at this,
Mihama, no comment.
Yeah. I think if you look at this really just as a fun summer concert or summer festival, then it's like really good. Like if you expect something high quality, then maybe not, but just as a fun concert. It's
and it's pretty much the end of all the summer events.
Yep.
Yeah. We are going to have the theater back a little, and then actually they announced the theater for the schedule. So the week before the request hour, 0, nothing, not even you can use the stage, nothing. So yeah,
so a bit less, but it was a great summer so far. Like if you just want to look back at this year's SK summer, we had a ton of events. If we leave out the missing bikinis from Myanmar, we had
pretty much in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we've got we had 3 live to watch. So I don't think any other groups can say that. So
this summer
pretty
was
good.
really good.
Yeah,
NMB can say that actually, but because they have their tour at the moment and they broadcast quite a few of the shows.
Okay.
But so it's always the same show just in a different place. Here at least it was each show was very different.
Different lineup too. So yeah.
Okay. I think if we don't have anything else to add here, we are done for today, and we will be back soon. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.